Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for coming in to listen to this, tuning in. I really appreciate it. As Dennis correctly introduced, my name is Kalyani. And for those of you who don't know the meaning of this name, it actually means blessing in Sanskrit. Yet I was told I was a curse by my very own mother, a curse cast upon her by my maternal grandmother. A curse that would make my mother's life a living hell. To prevent this prophecy from becoming reality, my mother chose to make my life a living hell. She told me she couldn't show any affection towards me because if she did, I would never leave her home. She told me to toughen up, not to show my emotions, not to be so emotional and weak. Once, she even told me to run away from home. Why? Because she just wanted me gone from her house. If anyone dared to compliment me, she was quick to downplay it. She didn't want the compliments getting to my head. Sometimes she took it a step further and she would put me down in front of others. If others made fun of me, she would join in with them. Nothing I ever did was good enough for her. I tolerated this for decades, all because I wanted her to love me. But she made me believe that I was unlovable, and I was very hard on myself because of this. Have you ever felt that you're not good enough? Have you ever been hard on yourself because you felt you're not good enough? Let me ask you this. How have you responded to not feeling good enough? Personally, I pursued overachievement to find my worth and value in accolades. Did you know there are actually two types of self-bullying? Type 1 is saying mean things to ourselves. I'm a loser. I'm a failure. I'm not worthy. Saying these things makes us feel uneasy and unsettled. Have you ever felt upset or uneasy, but you didn't know why? This is the feeling I am referring to. Type 2 of self-bullying is we take action to overcome that uneasy, unsettled feeling instead of addressing what's causing that feeling. We use distraction to avoid that feeling. Retail therapy, emotional eating, binge watching TV. Sometimes we take positive actions to overcome that unsettled feeling. Affirmations, meditations. In my case, overachievement. Why do those mean things make us feel unsettled? They're lies. They're our false perception of reality. So I found myself wondering, where do these self-bullying behaviors come from? In my experience, it is from our response to what others say and believe about us, our environment, including societal and cultural pressure, past trauma, including bullying and abuse, survival response. Self-bullying includes using this behavior as a defense mechanism, protecting you from potential failures or disappointments by discouraging you from taking risks. Replicating the behavior of a role model adult without questioning whether that behavior is healthy or not. Perfectionism, being a workaholic, proving others wrong. And your role model adult isn't the adult that you look up to, admire to, and want to grow up to be like. Your role model adult is the adult you saw the most between ages 2 and 8, regardless of their gender. So why are we unaware of type 2 of self-bullying? I'm assuming everyone here drives a car. Or if you don't drive a car, you know how a car works. So what do we control when we drive a car? The steering wheel, the pedals, the brakes. Do we control how the engine works or how the gas gets to the engine to move the wheels of the car? We're not Flintstones. We don't. So just like the steering wheel, the accelerator, and the brakes of a car, we control only 10% of our brain, the conscious brain. It's the part of our brain we have direct access and control of. And just like the engine of a car, we have no direct control or access to 90% of our brain. It's the unconscious brain. We use our whole brain, but we can only control a small part of it. The conscious brain, which is 10%, is the part that we're actually aware of and we use actively to think and make decisions. And just like we don't have direct control over the workings of the engine of a car, we do not have direct access or control over our unconscious brain. Our unconscious brain has an accurate record of our past external reality. It is the source of all of our energy. And yep, it's where our behaviors and our habits come from. That's why we're not actually aware of it. Our unconscious brain knows the truth about who we really are. We talk about our authentic self. Our unconscious brain knows our authentic self. And because we don't have direct access and control over our unconscious brain, where our behaviors come from, we actually don't realize, we're not even aware of these self-bullying behaviors. It's very natural to us. It's like a knee-jerk reaction, mindless eating. So how does the inner critic result in self-bullying? Let's have a look at conscious versus the unconscious brain. Our inner critic comes into play when we say mean things to ourselves. We consciously state something wrong using that 10% of our brain. It's critical self-talk. The mean things we say about ourselves aren't true because our unconscious brain knows the truth of who we really are. And what we stated is a contradiction. I'm a failure. I'm not worthy. It's a contradiction to our authentic self. We're not in integrity with our authentic self. Our unconscious brain recognizes what we stated was wrong and it makes us feel unsettled. It's like a check engine light in your car. It's going off. It's trying to get your attention to the lie that you stated by making you feel unsettled. Then we use our 10% of our brain to come up with a plan. So that was overachievement for me, finding my worth and value in what I did, because I wanted to outrun that unsettled feeling from my unconscious brain. And then it becomes a vicious cycle. Pursuing overachievement made me feel more unsettled because I was not addressing the cause of that unsettled feeling, which was the lie I told myself. So my unconscious brain kept trying to get my attention and I kept pursuing overachievement to get away from that feeling. And if this is done enough times for 21 days, the unconscious behavior becomes overachievement. So what happens is pursuing overachievement, which I did consciously, now becomes a habit in my unconscious brain. So overachievement is something I consciously chose to do, but being addicted to it was an unconscious behavior. So self-bullying is an unconscious behavioral response to the conscious inner critic, and self-bullying is an addictive behavior. What makes self-bullying worse? Have you ever walked into a room and forgotten why you walked in there? Have you ever tried to put the milk in the pantry? At the start of this year, did you write 2023 instead of 2024 for the first few days in January? This is known as the regulation thought process. We're distracted, we're on autopilot. We have no thoughts, or we have too many thoughts. We're unable to focus on a single thought. At this regulation thought process, we are very likely to engage in self-bullying behaviors because we're distracted. We're unable to focus on what we're actually saying or doing in the moment. 94% of people are at the regulation thought process at any moment. How do you know? I like to say it's a teenager test. When you call them, they turn around and say, "What?" You know they're there. What about using affirmations to overcome self-bullying? Do affirmations provide long-term results to the extent that you don't need to use them ever again? They don't. So why don't affirmations work all the time? The unconscious brain has an exact record of our past external reality. Because it's our unconscious brain, we aren't able to get that information directly. So we cannot recall every memory exactly. Usually affirmations are written in I am format. If I say I am worthy, but I haven't behaved in a worthy way, my unconscious brain will try to get my attention. I'm telling myself a lie. So I'll feel unsettled because what I said doesn't match how I behaved. We feel unsettled because all of our energy comes from our unconscious brain. And any difference between what we say and what we do will wear down our energy. We're not in integrity. So the question to ask ourselves is, do my words and actions contradict my reality? For an I am affirmation to work, whatever we say or write out as an affirmation should match the information that's stored in our unconscious brain. If we use I am going to, your unconscious brain is going to question you, okay, what's your plan? How are you going to do that? We won't know. And once again, it'll wear down our energy. If you want to use affirmations, reword them to I want to. This has worked exceptionally well for me. It's the same with meditations. We don't address the cause of self-bullying. It just helps you have a good emotion in the moment to overcome the unsettled feeling. So here's a twist in the tale. Are all overachievers bullying themselves? No, they're not. An overachiever can have a growth mindset where they're overachieving for the cause of wanting to improve ourselves so that we can help others. It's not about the effect of seeking our self-esteem or our worth or our value in what we do.